Now, I want to reveal a question that a lot of people ask me. A lot of people, not only on the Dragon's Path, but also in general. A lot of people ask me this question: Are you, or think, do you think that you are a dragon? And that is an interesting question. Well, the last time that I looked inside of the mirror, I saw a human being, someone like everyone else. I never, in my entire life, these eyes never saw the dragon in real life. And I have to say, my brothers and sisters, in the beginning of my path, I thought that I saw the dragon. But was my eyes deceiving me? Was it for real, or was it just inside of my head? That is something that I wanted to explore in the beginning of my path, because I very much was a skeptic. I didn't believe in ghosts and dragons in the beginning of my path, even though I did love them. I did love the dragon, but actually, just in front of my awakening, I wasn't busy with all of that. I was just living my life, going to my job, and doing my everyday routine. But I wasn't thinking of the dragon the day before the dragon actually knocked on that door of mine. And I have to say, the explosion that it brought was gigantic. I cannot even describe it, what I felt at that moment. And even sometimes I said that I could even see the dragon. And yet, here I am standing, saying to you that I never saw the dragon. But what actually happened in the beginning of my path? Actually, what happens to all of us from the people who also could see the dragons? Well, my brothers and sisters, an awakening is actually something very powerful. Whenever you are awakened, you have to know that something is happening inside of your body, not only inside of your body, but all around your body. You were you were born with this gift that I always tell. You were born with an energy that is coming from the dragon, that is very much asleep once you are born as a human being. Because whenever the dragon is actually born again in this world, you have to know that dragons are not allowed here. Dragons has to come here, but incognito. More like in some kind of yeah, that they are disguised as something. Disguised as something different. And you can have this not only with human beings, but also with animals. And that is what also lives within or surrounding you. You are surrounded by energy of a dragon, and not simply a dragon, but a dragon that is surrounded as well by other dragons. I know it's difficult, but it's something that I discovered so long ago. And I have to say, and I have to be very honest, I used to be very much stronger and my connection was very much stronger in the beginning of my path. The first couple of years, I connected to the dragon like it was nothing. It was actually very beautiful, and I was so afraid to lose that connection. But in the meantime, in the while, actually it lessens down. You know how I describe it much more like the Big Bang of the universe. Everything explodes and life was created. At these couple of moments, this couple of years, this time that everything exploded, everything was on fire. And that is eventually what your spirit is as well. Once it is awakened by the dragon, it's on fire. And you know much more your connection and your role with the dragon. And much more to it that, of course, like I said, I'm a human being and I love dragons. But when people say to me, are you a dragon? I'm always going to say, no, I am someone who believes in dragons. I'm someone who connects with dragons. I'm someone who works along with dragons. I'm someone who sometimes gets the idea of what dragons are. Nothing more, nothing less. That is the only thing that I'm going to say with people. I'm not going to say I'm a dragon, of course not. But I very much understand the people who say that they are a dragon, because I feel that as well. You know, another word for dragon energy, the one that is exploding so much, is just a soul. It's a spirit. The spirit of the dragon is living within you. And it's not simply another spirit. Your entire body and how you are as a human is completely made out of that spirit, out of that soul. You are the human version of that dragon. You are completely based and structured so that you are the human version of the dragon that your spirit was once. And in the beginning, of course, it's all very confusing. But I have to be very honest. And people say, yeah, it's crazy. Of course, I went there. I went there to the conclusion that I was going crazy, but there was much more to it, much more than just simply paranormal activity or anything like this. Everything that, like I said, I was a skeptic, so I had to see it in a scientific way as well. I'm not just taking something without scientific evidence or explanation. I just need to know where this is coming from. And I had 19 years to discover that. 19 years all by myself to discover that. And I didn't need anyone to distract me from this. I just wanted to follow my path and see what was going on. And everything what was going on is something that I have to say that is 100% real and true. And it was sometimes challenging and difficult, and also the reason why I want to say to the world that dragons are very much real, and trying to open your spirit, trying to open your energy, trying to open the dragon version of yourself. That is eventually what you have with you. You have a dragon version of who you are as a human. And that is something that was awakened. In the beginning of my path, I even had the urge, actually, and that is what I also recommend to a lot of people who are new on this draconic path. Don't be afraid actually to touch your draconic self, that to come in front of your dragon altar with this draconic self that you are. Show the teeth, show the claws, and show the horns, show everything that a dragon has. But it's not just only their physical manifestation that you can have, it's also in the mind, your mind. And that is why I sometimes say to people on the dragon's path, sometimes you need to let your human self to sleep and let the dragon rise, let the dragon awaken. And you can do this perfectly whenever you have a dragon altar, that you can eventually, where you can awaken the dragon. And of course, in the beginning, I was not letting myself go. When I felt the dragon and I had the need to let it go out, let him go out, I was actually very much embarrassed, like, oh, if someone saw me like this. Well, actually, that is the wrong mindset. You don't have to worry about them, about humans. In a way, they will never understand it. Even with all of the explanations that you have, they will not understand it, and they don't need to understand it, as long as you understand it. But if you are alone, or if you are inside of your bedroom, then let the dragon out. Let the dragon, so that you can feel who you are as a dragon. You don't have to imagine the things. It's something that you can feel. It's something that lives deep inside of yourself. So you are born with this dragon spirit, but it's going to be asleep, and that is where the dragon eye comes in. That is where the dragons by your side comes in, your dragon god as well, the dragon god that you need to find out who that dragon god is, who is actually the closest one to you. That is very important, and also in a way to discover all of the dragons that are surrounding you. The dragon god, the dragon guardian, who is your bestest friend, your friend you'll never have inside of this world, your dragon that will go, through heaven and earth, to fire, so that they can be with you. That is how dragons are. They are very much loyal. And even though if you are far away, covered in skin, and you don't even remember it, they will still go after you. And not in a bad way, in a very good way. And that is how dragons are. And once you are touched by them, you will immediately have this love for dragons, and you might not even know where this is coming from. Where do you have this love for the dragons? Your spirit affects your mind. It tries to talk with it in a draconic language, but you don't even know it's in a draconic language, because you are a human, but it's immediately translated so that you understand what is going on in the end. So it goes very deep. And also, I cannot say to you what you have to do. It's just recommendations. Everyone is different, and every single one of us is so darn different that I cannot tell you how your path is going, and how your dragons are, and how your draconic self is. Even your own draconic self is something that you need to discover yourself. And in my recommendations, to be one of them. Even though, don't let your skin or human self just stand in the way of just becoming that dragon that you need to feel. You will discover that a dragon is so much more than a human, that they are so much closer to something that I felt as godlike or divine, something close to nature and the creation of life itself. That is how close you are as well to the dragons and to the creation itself. And that is why I called them the dragons by your side, the dragon gods, because they are so much connected to the creation of life itself, something that humans will never accept because they are not humans. Humans have to be, humans worship humans. You can see that in all of the images of the gods that they create. But if I show them that and I say this is a god, then everyone will laugh it away because that is not a human image. And that is what I want to say to the world. What if this is the one that is living with you? This is the one that is living, that you actually are, that you are within yourself. You are this dragon, but you are just the human version of it. The human version of this dragon, without the wings and the scales, but you are still very much divine. You are still very much by the side of the gods. But of course, they are not the image of humans. And immediately a lot of humans will say, that is just ridiculous, because that is not a human. Well, my brothers and sisters, dragon gods, they sometimes can come in front of you as a human. That is something that I learned inside of my path. But it is simply because you are one yourself, and they have to connect with you in a way. But if you look deep inside of yourself, if you are meditating, if you are connecting very much to your own draconic self, then you might understand that this world is not just made out of humans or for humans, or this world is not made for them. This world is made for everything that is alive. And that is why I am respecting life so much, because I am a very deep believer that this is the creation of Tiamat and the other dragon gods. But that is, of course, another story. I just wanted to say, my brothers and sisters, you don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to also say that that you are crazy or something like this. It's nothing like this. If we are crazy, then everyone who believes in something is crazy. If you cannot, of course, I cannot prove that dragons were real, but I don't have to, as long as you feel it, as long as you know it, as long as you understand it. And that is where I want to let you know everything about. I hope that I can let you know as much as possible about the dragon spirituality. There is so many details that I cannot go through, details that you need to find out, details that are so connected to yourself that you need to find it out inside of your dragon's path. And yeah, I very much want to say to you, my brothers, that is actually where I want to say this, where I want to make this video about. Are you a dragon? Actually, my brothers and sisters, in a way, your vision might not see it, but you are the human version of the dragon. You are a human version of the dragon, and you don't need to lock it down. You don't need to look at. I mean, I did it. I pushed the dragon so much away because I felt the dragon within, and I felt embarrassed about this. That is something that I don't want that you do the same thing. You have to let the dragon through and show it to your dragon god, show it to the dragon guardian, that they are not mistaken, that you are really the connection that they want to have with you. That is what you need to find out, my brothers and sisters. So my brothers and sisters, be blessed.